Moving on from question 6 of section 2, the first logical reasoning section from LSAT PrepTest 141, which you can find for free over at lawhub.lsac.org, we're going to go on to question number 7. And here we've got a relatively lengthy set of questions and answers, which means we may be looking at some sort of parallel reasoning. So we'll read the stem first, mostly to determine whether we're looking for just parallel reasoning or a parallel flaw. So 7 states, which one of the following contains flawed reasoning most similar to the flawed reasoning in the argument above? Okay, so we're going to just highlight flawed reasoning most similar to the flawed reasoning in the argument. So that means we don't want to select any valid arguments in our answer choices. Furthermore, we should be skeptical of what we're about to read on the left already. So we're going to keep our highlight tool selected. We're going to certainly highlight the conclusion, and if it's a somewhat convoluted argument, we might highlight the parts, but for now we're just going to know we will highlight the conclusion upon completing our upfront read of the paragraph, which starts, Party X has recently been accused by its opposition, Party Y, of accepting international campaign contributions, which is illegal. Such accusations are, however, ill-founded. 3 years ago, Party Y itself was involved in a scandal in which it was discovered that its national committee seriously violated campaign laws. So the conclusion is that these accusations are ill-founded. I need to highlight what those accusations are, which is that Party X has recently been accused by its opposition, Party Y, of accepting international campaign contributions. And these accusations, I'll even highlight the such now, are ill-founded. And we need to come up with our own prediction of why that was, which is basically, we've got an ad hominem attack. We are attacking Party Y as not being a valid source of the accusation because Party Y was involved in a similar scandal. So our mental prediction here is we've got to go to our answer choices, finding one that has an argument where it's attacking the source of the accusation, not the content of the accusation. So we're going to go back to our highlight color right here, and you can see we use our little underline tool just to focus on what the most relevant information is outside of the conclusion that we want to have as the only highlighted portion of the paragraph on the left. So starting with choice A, thank you for watching this LSAT explanation video. If you're enjoying the tips that it contains, please consider becoming a My Guru YouTube channel member if you haven't already done so. You'll get access to exclusive videos and early access to new LSAT explanation videos as they're produced as well. Additionally, you'll get access to speak with me and potentially discounts on live tutoring as well. So consider becoming a My Guru member today, but for now, let's get back to this explanation. The plaintiff accuses the defendant of violating campaign laws, but the accusations are ill-founded. Okay, so this is okay so far. While the defendant's actions may violate certain laws, they are not immoral because the laws in question are unjust. This has nothing to do with attacking the accuser, as it were. It's actually attacking the laws. So choice A just does not match that attacking the source flaw that we had given in the paragraph on the left. So we can move on to choice B now. The plaintiff accuses the defendant of violating campaign laws, but these accusations show the plaintiff to be hypocritical because the plaintiff has engaged in similar conduct. Well, this is relevant, but this is a valid argument. The plaintiff would be hypocritical if they're accusing somebody of doing the same thing that they do. So this is just not the same flawed reasoning, even though it is kind of talking about an obliquely similar circumstance. So now we'll just scroll on down and frame up the remaining 3 answer choices, knowing that A and B were definitely incorrect and didn't match that ad hominem attack that we predicted. So choice C, the plaintiff accuses the defendant of violating campaign laws, and in the past, courts have declared such violations illegal. Nevertheless, because the plaintiff recently engaged in actions that were similar to those of the defendant, the plaintiff's accusations are ill-founded. If we break this down and really just focus on this yellow highlight part, choice C matches exactly if you get lost in understanding a relatively convoluted choice of C. Just hold this answer choice. But if you recognize that yellow highlight is really basically saying that the source disqualifies the accusation, you could pick C and move a little bit more quickly through D and E. But of course, for the purposes of this video, we will find specific reasons to eliminate the remaining answer choices. D states, the plaintiff accuses the defendant of violating campaign laws, but these accusations are ill-founded. They are clearly an attempt to stir up controversy. No. And you can keep reading if you want, but there's nothing about controversy in the given paragraph argument, so we can eliminate D immediately upon identifying that piece. And then choice E, the plaintiff accuses the defendant of voting only for campaign laws that would favor the defendant's party. This accusation is ill-founded, however, because it attacks the defendant's motivations instead of addressing the arguments the defendant has put forth justifying these votes. Again, if you're not careful, or if you eliminated choice C just because it was confusing, you might pick E and be like, because it attacks the defendant, but it doesn't attack the defendant's motivations. It attacks the defendant based on past actions. So we can eliminate choice E for that very subtle distinction. And again, if you're working through choices C and E as your last two answer choices, you need to focus on specific details, actions, and descriptions for reasons to eliminate. But if you had that proactive prediction of basically an ad hominem flaw originally, you may have selected choice C on your own a little while ago for number 7 here.